Makes his move toward a probable presidential run, former Florida Governor Jeb Bush is making it very clear where he stands on immigration.
How do we create high sustained economic growth? And that's to shift away from family reunification being almost the sole driver of legal immigration to narrowing that to what every other country has, spouse and minor children, and dramatically expanding immigrants that are coming to work.
But what Jeb Bush is not talking about is what are all the Americans going to do when there aren't any jobs? Even though there has been a working age population growth of 11 million people, fewer U.S.-born Americans have jobs now than they did in 2007. This is according to federal data that was highlighted by the Center for Immigration Studies. Almost 1 in every 2 jobs that's been added since 2009 have gone to foreign-born workers. Since November 2007, the number of working legal and illegal immigrants has risen by 2 million, while the number of Americans with jobs has fallen by 1.5 million. All of the net gain in employment since 2007 has gone to immigrants, legal and illegal. And the jobs transfer from Americans to immigrants has only accelerated since the economy bottomed out in 2009. Now, despite the fact that the entire U.S.-born working-age population is 5 times greater than the entire immigrant population, foreign-born people have gained a nearly equal amount of jobs since January 2010. Now, clearly, this report highlights many companies' growing reliance on foreign migrant workers. And don't be fooled by this 5.6% unemployment rate that the current administration is really patting themselves on the back for. We've already reported how that figure is extremely misleading. If you are a person who has just stopped looking for work entirely in the last 4 weeks because the job market is just such trash, you've just stopped entirely looking for work. If you are someone who's employed part-time or what they term severely underemployed, even if you're someone who makes a measly $20 a week, you are not considered to be unemployed by the Department of Labor. Right now, as many as 30 million Americans are either out of work or severely underemployed. So this 5.6% unemployment rate is not only extremely misleading, it is a big fat lie. Now, we know that Mark Zuckerberg has been a huge supporter for increasing H-1B work permits. He joined forces with top executives and founders from Google, Yahoo, and LinkedIn to launch Forward.us, which was an organization created to influence the immigration debate. Their argument is that there is a shortage of U.S. workers who are skilled in science and engineering, and thus we need to attract and keep the best and brightest foreign-born workers. So they're really pressuring the Obama administration to increase the amount of H-1B work permits. But critics are calling these claims extremely exaggerated. They say there are plenty of Americans who are skilled enough to take these jobs. But what they do say is that the H-1B program allows U.S. companies to train foreign workers and then outsource them abroad at lower wages. And of course, this hurts American workers. Some Southern California Edison IT workers are beyond furious over their H-1B replacements. They tell ComputerWorld.com that the H-1B program was supposed to be for projects and jobs that American workers could not fill. But now they say that they are being forced to train their replacements. And that's an argument for H-1B work permits that we're hearing again and again, that they're only going to be bringing people in who are highly skilled, who are able to do the jobs that there aren't enough Americans that are there to do. But that's clearly not the case. And like a lot of the critics are saying, it's an opportunity for companies to outsource these jobs abroad and pay lower wages. Now, a witness at a House Judiciary Committee hearing on immigration enforcement says that there is an effort to facilitate immigration as a means to suppress wages. This is Temple University law professor Jan Ting. He told the committee this week, good luck with raising the minimum wage to $15 per hour for fast food workers because the president has already announced that he's going to add 5 million illegal immigrants to the legal workforce in 2015, and every employer knows that. And employers also know that under the new Affordable Care Act rules, they're not required to provide health insurance for those who are not U.S. citizens. So who do you think is going to look better on that job application? So obviously, not only flooding the country with competition is going to be bad news for U.S. workers, it's also going to drive down wages. And if you think things are bad now, let's talk about all of the jobs that are going to be automated soon. Economists have no idea what to do with all of the Americans who are going to be out of work because their jobs are being replaced with robots. The coming jobs crisis is a national scandal, and it is not a part of the immigration debate. You can't just promise an influx of foreigners that they can come here and pursue the American dream, when for Americans, that dream is dead.